Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources.
And I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard. Welcome to Helping Seniors Television. We're going to have a lot of fun on today's show. I have the privilege of sitting in for our president and founder, Joe Steckler. And as you know, Helping Seniors is all about helping you craft your aging plan so you can have the most success and the best senior years that you can have. And sometimes that means having fun. And so really excited about today's television program because we have a great topic, and we're going to be focusing in on senior travel. And we're so privileged to have with us today Chris Morse with Senior Travel, who is actually also heading up the Helping Seniors Travel Club, which we'll talk a little bit about as we go through. But the main point of today is we want to talk about traveling and how it can be a great, fun addition to your senior years, even if you thought it might not be practical or possible to travel. So welcome, Chris, to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And I was so impressed to hear that we always talk about helping seniors, and you, in your senior years, have got a lifetime of experience in travel. I was reading where we were talking about that you had actually gotten your company started in 1982, which is almost unheard of for a travel business to be successfully operating so many years later. And you have just a tremendous amount of experience with this. Tell us a little bit about how it all came together and how you got what you got going with senior travel.
Well, we started out in 1982 after a long career I was a VP and sales directors of many Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, wow.
And then decided to get into travel. And the first thing I noticed in Los Angeles is that they had a lot of entertainment programs. So I used to do a lot of traveling for a lot of the record stars in Los Angeles. And the city of Los Angeles came to me and said, Chris, you know, we have a big senior market here in Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles they have different senior centers in each city. And there might be 10 cities in a row, and they all have their senior centers. Right. So they gave me the opportunity to work with the seniors. But back in 1982, there was not a lot of very good senior travel companies because that was before all the new rules and regulations giving the seniors the availability of walking the streets and getting on their electric equipment. We didn't have that back then.
Right.
So we tried our very best. There weren't very many vendors that were working with the seniors. So we struck out and became the top senior travel company in Los Angeles.
Wow. We
helped all the seniors who thought they couldn't travel to travel. I didn't have a lot of vendors in those days, but if we bring it forward to today, we work with only vendors that support the senior market, that allow the customer to be able to either walk slowly, walk with a walker, walk with an electric wheelchair, and also have breathing equipment that they can bring along on their trip that is accepted by the vendor, and they help the senior use those equipment to travel and to enjoy the different packages, whether it's a cruise or a land package.
And that brings us all the way up to today. You know, it's fascinating because as we were talking about this idea of the Helping Seniors Travel Club, one of the thought processes was we often talk to people who say, well, I think those years are behind me. I would have loved to do this 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but you see, I have this situation and this limits me. And one of the things that was fascinating when we sat down to talk was you were sharing some stories, some actual client, I guess I would call them testimonials, where you had sat down with a family that might have thought those days are well gone, and yet they were not only able to travel safely, but it really just improved the quality of their life immensely to the point where now they see a whole new level of activity. I remember you were telling a story about a husband and a wife where the wife really wanted to travel, and the husband wasn't thinking that was even possible.
That's correct. We have a couple of really fun stories. We had one couple that wanted to fly into and do their bucket list trip, the trip of a lifetime, going to Italy.
Oh, wow.
And they lived in Detroit, Michigan.
Uh-huh.
They contacted me. He has a breathing machine, okay? The rules and restrictions for a breathing machine on an airplane are astronomical. So every time they tried to do it on their own, they failed. They didn't know how to do it. So they contacted me. I was able to contact the airline, talk to the right kind of people, figured out what kind of breathing machine they would allow on the plane. And then I actually flew to Detroit, worked with him and the airline vendor, because I wanted that airline vendor to become part of my team.
Sure.
So I could use that airline for other seniors. And we figured out what kind of equipment we needed, how many jars he could bring, because they are pressurized, and the airlines were concerned about that. So we were able to do that. They went to Italy and they had such a great time, and they never thought they could do that. And the same for the cruise lines. A lot of people think they get on a cruise ship, there's not a lot of room, and which there isn't. But the right cruise lines and cruise ships do have handicapped cabins, or they do have cabins that have narrow entrance into their cabins, but we can get them then a narrow electric wheelchair. So we go through all of that, where when you pull up to the front of the cruise ship, there's somebody there with a wheelchair for you. They take you on, take you all the way up to your cabin, drop you off, and they're there for you when you come off the ship. So everything is taken care of, and all you have to do is enjoy the cruise, because you have all the equipment and it's already been set up from start to finish for you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then you were saying too that because of your decades of experience with this, over time you've learned which vendors, not only cruise lines but travel companies, really welcome seniors and understand the, I guess, the steps they want to take to make sure seniors can travel safely and comfortably with them, versus those that say, no, we're the on-the-go bunch. We don't want to wait for people that are going to slow down the group or things like that. And having that knowledge, particularly in a day and age when people might be tempted just, oh, I saw this on the internet, so let me just go book it there. And then they might find out that the experience that they thought they were going to have is just not going to work out because they're with the wrong demographic, and these people all want to go rock climbing or something, and that may not be what the senior has in mind for the best for the best day's enjoyment.
You're correct. There's probably 30 vendors that say go to Hawaii, but there's only 3 of those 30 vendors that work with seniors.
Wow.
That actually help the senior, that know the senior market.
Wow.
So I would not book on any of those other ones, because again, there might be younger folks and they're going to get put off by a senior slowing down the group or something like that. So we work with the vendors that actually participate with the senior market, and then the tour operators or the tour guide knows how to work with seniors. So from the time you get on the airplane to the time you come back off the airplane, your trip is completely set up for your particular special need or your particular age. So it works out perfect, but you can't find that on the internet.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to bring up too. I remember looking through some of the materials that you've put together as it pertains to the Helping Seniors Travel Club, and both you and your partner Betty are both, I think you said, special needs certified. Right. So you're used to working with families of all ages that need a little bit of extra help.
Right, and that includes, when we talk to a senior, a lot of the seniors don't really give us enough information up front, so we have to sort of pull it out of them, because they might be a little bit proud.
Sure.
Or something might be going on there, so we actually pull out the information. So we know exactly when we book that trip what kind of special needs they have. And we're real good at that, because that is so important on a trip for a senior, is how to take care of their special needs. So we find out their special needs, and we work with a vendor that will work with those special needs, including the cruise lines, because there's some that are really good and some that are just fair.
Sure.
And we make sure that they have all the equipment that they need from start to finish. Either we can rent it to them, or they actually have it on hand at their home. And we just make sure that their trip that they thought they could never take, because they didn't think they could walk or talk or breathe or be in motion with the other people, they can actually take and have a wonderful time.
Yeah, and that's what really I really wanted to draw out that story because I thought it was fascinating the way you related it, where you had this opportunity to sit down with a couple where the wife was, I would so much like to do this, but I don't think with my husband's situation that is really, looks like it's in the cards. And you sat down with both her and with him, and you guys worked out a travel experience that just literally changed everything for them.
It did, and it had to be one-on-one. I couldn't do this over the phone. You can't do it on the internet. You can't do it via email. You have to sit in front of them. And what we were able to discover is he really wanted his wife to travel, and he was willing to stay home and let her travel. And I said, well, why do you want to do that? And we asked some questions, and I said, if I could put together a trip for you that you could take, would you trust me to do that? And he paused, and it took him a while, and he said, okay, I'll give you a chance. I mean, it was like a threat.
Right.
He'll give me a chance.
Right.
Because he thought I would fail. And they end up having the best time of their life, and they've actually taken another trip.
Wow.
He's gotten a little bit, his handicap has gotten a little bit worse, but they took 2 trips that they thought they could never take, and it's all about the memories that you make. And now they can sit and talk with their kids and their grandkids about those 2 trips they were able to take that they thought they could never take, and that pleases my heart.
Yeah, and not only that, though, I think, certainly over the past 10 years or whatever, as we've gotten used to our smartphones and online and things like that, we get bombarded with all these offers of travel on the internet. So maybe it's a cruise line special offer, or it's a travel scenario that looks really promising. And so nowadays, people oftentimes think, well, I can't get a travel agent. There used to be one on every street corner. I could call somebody and say, well, what about this? Is this a reputable company? And now we have this joke around the house. It's like, well, if it was on the internet, it must be true, we say sarcastically. Because how do you know when you start seeing all these travel offers online, which are legit, which are worth considering, and which are not? And it seems like you're out on sort of a wild, wild west frontier where you're out there on your own, because it's just impossible to find a travel agent who knows these things. And that's what I wanted to ask you about, because one of the things that you told us was that you guys are able to meet or exceed anything that people are able to find online.
That is correct. What happened was during the depressions of 2008, all the travel vendors thought that they could save money because things were slow and use the internet to make their bookings. And they got rid of their support people, they got rid of their reservation staff because everything was coming through the internet. But the internet made so many mistakes that by 2015, the vendor said, we're not doing this anymore, we can't. Because beforehand, when you book through a travel agent, we're your customer service person.
Right.
Like if you booked with Princess Cruise Lines with me and something happened in Princess, you're going to call me, you're not going to call Princess.
Right.
But if you booked on the internet, you only can
your
call
own.
Princess. You're on your own, and you're going to call Princess. Well, Princess didn't want all of those calls coming in because that's defeated the process. So they've given us the same price as the internet, but because we're their customer service department, they give us specials. They give us onboard credit. They give us certain things that we can pass along to the client that you can't get on the internet, and we just pass those along to our clients. And that's part of the Helping Seniors of Brevard Travel Club.
Right, because I was going to say, not only that, you guys have expertise with the types of cabins, because, isn't that a problem? Like you go online and you say, okay, well, I'm just going to book based on this price and I see this, but then you get a cabin in an undesirable part or something, something is not right, and you don't have any place to go because you kind of just on a wing and a prayer booked it.
Right.
Whereas if you call somebody that has that level of expertise, that has been in these trenches for the decades like you guys have been, you can really get some recommendations that have value. And that's one of the things we talk about a lot here at Helping Seniors, is whether it be things like you've heard us talk about on TV programs about getting the right help financially so that you make correct decisions in all your planning, to get the right paperwork together medically so everything is correct, that you have the paperwork you need if you have to go to the doctor or things like that. It always makes sense to have true expert advice, and that's really what you represent on the fun side of the equation when it comes to travel.
Well, they did a survey, Kerry, on an internet survey. We're one of the top cruise lines, and 43% of all bookings on the cruise line, on the internet, something goes wrong with it.
Wow.
Yeah, almost half of
Wow.
the bookings. When you get on a cruise ship, and I'm sure you've been on one before, and you get on, you see that big long line in front of the concierge desk?
Yes, yes.
Let's say there's 100 people there, 99 people booked on the internet, one person booked with a travel agent.
Wow.
So all of those people, something went wrong with their booking and they got the wrong kind of cabin. For example, there's inside cabins and there's outside cabins, and some of those outside cabins can be blocked by a lifeboat or a steel bar.
Yes.
Or something. On one cruise ship, on one of the Royal Caribbean cruise ships, there's 43 different kinds of cabins.
Wow.
All different prices.
Right.
And if you go on the internet, let's say you go on the internet, you want to go to Italy. And you say, I want to go to Italy. 465 pages of Google come up to show you how to go to Italy.
Sure.
And you can't go through that. So that's why you would call Senior Travel. And,
Right.
and we would find the exact vendor that would support the senior market to take you to Italy.
No, absolutely. In fact, that brings up how Helping Seniors came together with Chris Morse and the team at Senior Travel to create the Helping Seniors Travel Club. Is it really started from a need that, you know, you can't just find a local travel agent anymore. You know, it doesn't exist. They're going to push you off to some internet search engine, or you're going to call some 800 number and you're going to get somebody that you're speaking to, maybe on this continent, maybe not.
Right.
And they're going to try to help give you information when you have some pretty complicated questions or complicated needs. And even though I'm sure those people are trying to be helpful, they may not be able to, as you said, sit down and have A, the background of expertise, and B, the experience in the senior market to know how to give you those answers you need.
That's correct. When I talk to a senior, let's say I would call you, or you called me regarding a cruise, I have 25 questions I'm going to ask you.
Wow.
To find out what kind of cruise you really want.
Wow.
When you go on the internet, there are no questions.
Right.
It's just, what do you want to book? You think this is right? Book it, put your money down, non-refundable, too bad.
Right.
With a travel agent, if you book with me, I have the ability to cancel your reservation in case something happens. I do door-to-door service, so pick up at your home, drop you off at your home, everything in between, including all the special needs equipment that you might need. And I give you the best travel insurance to protect your trip in case something should happen.
You know, and that's another point that I wanted to bring up as we talk about the Helping Seniors Travel Club. And folks, you can find out about the Helping Seniors Travel Club. You have a special page on the Helping Seniors website. You can access it at helpingseniorstravelclub.com. helpingseniorstravelclub.com. And one of the things that I was thinking about that's so important about this is that you have the ability to help seniors travel safely and effectively. And when you were talking about those family travels before, I was thinking about, I've run across so many seniors who say, listen, I've got plenty of funding. I want to take my whole family on a get-together. I want to just go ahead and we're going to spend Thanksgiving at sea, or we're going to spend the holidays at sea, or we're just going to have a summer vacation at sea. And it seems like you're prepared because you have the special needs expertise, the knowledge of who's doing what. You're going to be able to sit down with a family, and if they're taking, you know, a family reunion of 20 or 30 people, you're going to be able to sit down and negotiate with the cruise line and find them a deal that's going to give them a really memorable time together.
And that's right, and that's why I ask so many questions. If you say you're going to take your family, and say you're a senior, and you have sons and daughters, and they may be 20 years younger than you are, and then they have their sons and daughters who might be 8, 9, or 10.
Sure.
Now the question I'm going to ask you is this cruise for you, for your children, or for your grandchildren?
That's good.
Because that makes a difference.
Sure.
If I book it for you, the grandkids might not have as much fun.
Right.
If I book it for the grandkids, you might not have as much fun. So I have to ferret out that information so I can book the right cruise so all of the family members can have a good time. Like, I don't want to mention any cruise lines, but there's one cruise line I would book you on that I wouldn't book kids on.
Sure.
Because they don't have a good kids program.
Right.
So I would book them on a good kids program, and hopefully you would have a good enough time watching the kids have a good time, and that would be it. So there's there's 4 or 5 or different cruise lines that I would refer to you to make that happen. So it sounds easy, but that's why I ask so many questions to make sure that when you book your reunion or your family get together, and I've done 30, 40, 50 cabins, that I do the right, I do what the family wants to do to make all of the family members happy, not just some of them.
And not only that, you have expertise in putting together group travels. I know in the Helping Seniors Travel Club, there's going to be opportunities where people who are traveling, who would like to travel with friends and family from this area are going to be able to get together on specific Helping Seniors Travel Club itineraries and things like that, which is pretty exciting. But I also wanted to ask a question, like, I think you have expertise too in a very common a scenario that comes up for senior travelers. What if I'm a senior traveler and I am literally by myself, and I'm not sure that I want to vacation completely by myself? You have ways to help me either way. If I want to travel by myself, you can help me find something, or if I want to travel with like-minded people.
Yes, a lot of vendors now have what they call solo travel programs. I'll mention a cruise line. NCL has solo cabins that you can get on as an individual, just yourself. And we also have a program that when we send out our information, we ask that if anybody is looking for a partner to share a trip with. And then we try to match those people up with other people that want to come, because most of those are ladies that have lost their significant others and they want to travel, still want to travel, but they don't want to travel alone. So we match them up with another lady that has lost a significant other, so they can travel together or go on a group cruise like we're planning in October.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, particularly with the Helping Seniors Travel Club. When these group opportunities come up, there's a couple of things that we've experienced along the way in previous travel experiences. First of all, it's always fun to go with people that are now new friends, because you meet them and these friendships last a lifetime. You meet them, you're from the same hometown, so the friendship can continue once you get back home. And then also, just as you're going out, the fun of exploring new places and doing new things while you're traveling, whether it be on a cruise ship or in some sort of a travel experience, that always lends so much fun to it. And we see that particularly one of the studies that we've done in the Brevard County area, one of the top 10 needs for seniors in our area, believe it or not, you would think of things like medical, transportation, housing. You would think those would rightly so be up there, but one of the ones that really surprised us was social interaction is a huge need among seniors in Brevard County. In fact, we were talking that that the sense of isolation, because a lot of times if we're in our senior years, we may have family, but maybe they don't live here in this area. So now we see them a couple of times at holiday times or something, if we're fortunate. But the rest of the time, we're kind of in our house doing our thing. And what a great opportunity to get out and see the world with some new friends.
You know, that brought up a really interesting thought that I just had. Since I started back in 1982, the lady now, Vicki Freed, who's the Vice President in charge of Royal Caribbean, she called on me when she was a rep for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Wow.
So that was eons ago.
Sure.
And now we're best of friends, and I can call her and she'll actually answer the phone. The VP of Royal Caribbean, she'll answer the phone. But half the friends that I have currently in my life I've met on cruise ships.
Isn't that funny?
Over the years.
Isn't that funny?
And I can reach out to them. Some of them can't travel anymore because they're our age, but some of them can. And if I can say we're going to go on this group cruise, they said, Chris, you tell me when and we'll be there. So,
you know, I was going to say that was an experience that I've seen in play before, is that, you know, it's just such a great experience to get out there and travel. Because then you're going to meet new friends, and those friends stay with you, and it becomes almost this club. Well, it is a club. They say, well, when's the next thing? When are we going out again? And that's one of the things that we talk about. There's so many there are so many serious issues about aging, and we try to make sure from the Helping Seniors standpoint that we do our best to put information and resources together that help people with that. But then we also got to remember, we are alive, and we're having fun, and we're doing the best that we can with everything that we're doing day by day. And travel is such a wonderful opportunity that it's a shame to put that up if it's not required to do so. And I think, number one, you're able to help people evaluate correctly what would be suitable for them, because of your background in special needs and your expertise in senior travel. Number two, when they do travel, it seems like you're in a position to help them make wise choices about how to do it safely and securely, and that you have the experience to move them through all kinds of situations, because occasionally something will come up during a travel experience that you, because of your experience, will know how to guide somebody through, as opposed to waiting in line for 1-800 whoever I'm supposed to call from the internet.
Correct.
And then the third thing that seems to be a strong part about this and everything that you do is that despite all the hype and hoopla of the internet, you seem to have the ability to create the same economic value that somebody is seeing on the internet, but with more safety and more security.
We do that. And sometimes, Kerry, what we'll do is if somebody says, oh, I've been booking on the internet my whole life and I'm not going to change, I say, well, give us an opportunity. Book what you want to book, or go on the internet, find out what you want, send me the information over, and let me see if I can do a better job and give you more amenities and better pricing. And some of the seniors will let me actually do that, and I've won every battle that I've come up against. And all we ask is a chance. We just want to earn their business. We want to show them how they can travel the world, create memories, and share those memories with their family. So it's really nice to be able to do that.
It is. So we're just about out of time. Let's give the phone number to reach you at Senior Travel.
You can call Betty or Chris at 321-978-5211. That's 321-978-5211. Talk to Betty or Chris. We'll put you on a trip of a lifetime. We also have some group cruises coming up that you'll find out on Helping Seniors of Brevard Travel Club.
Yeah, HelpingSeniorsTravelClub.com. HelpingSeniorsTravelClub.com. Get ready to hear a lot more. Thanks, Chris. I'm Kerry Fink. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Steckler, thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.